Hello, all my yarny friends. I've got Rosie here with me because today is National Dog Day. And a lot of people wanted to see how she was doing. And she's doing really well, except for she's mad at me because I made her go potty out in the rain. She won't give me a kiss because she doesn't like the smell of coffee. Give mommy kisses. She won't give me a kiss. But she's doing really well. And one other neat thing, if you look here on her side, she had a little spot. And when we took her in, one of the things that they looked at was that little spot. And she had a little cyst. And along with some of the medications, which made her very sick, it also helped to heal up that little cyst, which was a good thing, even though we took her off all those other medications. But this is Rosie Bell. Rosie is 16 and a half years old. She is my sweet baby. And she used to be a daddy's girl all the time. You know, when we had little Maximo, Maximo was a mama's boy, and Rosie was a daddy's girl. And then after Maximo went over the Rainbow Bridge, Rosie all of a sudden became a mama's girl. And what was so funny is she was younger than him, and we had him first. But from the moment we got her, and she weighed less than a pound when we got her, from the moment we got her, she was in charge. She would keep him in line with her little yips. It was so cute to watch. And so here's Rosie Bell. She's my happy girl. You can see her little face has gotten really, really white. But I don't care. I love her so much. So everybody, happy dog day to you. And if you don't have a dog, go play with somebody else's. I used to love to go to PetSmart when they had their adoption days. And usually they were on Saturdays. And I used to love to go there and just play with all the dogs. And they'd be always like, are you going to take that one? I'm like, I wish I could. And I thought that was cool because they did, and I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do adoption days where they would go and get dogs from rescues. And they would, all you had to do, I think, was make sure they had their shots and they would let you have the dog. It was like real inexpensive. So this is Rosie Bell. She, like I said, she's mad at me because I made her potty in the rain. And remember I told you she had lost weight. She's normally about 10 pounds and she had lost 2 pounds. She's back up to her weight, which is good. I think that medicine was just messing her up. All right, she wants to go down on her poof. There we go, sweetie. There we go. That's my good girl. She's going to curl up and go to sleep. She got her nose on my glasses. Give me just a second here. All right, so I've got a lot. She really got my glasses dirty. All right, get them glasses on so I can see. Okay. So what's so interesting is today is National Dog Day, and I wanted, before we get going, we need to do our clinking, don't we? All right, clinkety, clink, clink, clink. I got my, what we call that, a harvest mug or a fall mug or autumn mug out. I really like it because it's got the teal colors in there. So pretty. I am drinking Aldi's pumpkin spice coffee with the caramel chocolate creamer. It is like a treat, and it is sugar-free. Clinkety, clink, clink, clink. All righty. Now, before we get started, I want to not remind you, but let you know that I am going on vacation. Finally. I had a really stressful week this last week. I had someone try to get into my PayPal account and all of my sites and try to wreak havoc. But I am very thankful for the people who work at PayPal who were on it just like that. And of course I have that double thing where they can't get in because they don't know all my codes and stuff like that, but they certainly tried. And so we had to redo all of that stuff. And some of my like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and my PayPal and everything, anywhere I have anything, I had to go in Ravelry, and I had to go in and reset up the double. Oh, she just left. I heard her nails clipping in order to get it straightened out. And it's become a terrible problem. It really, really has. But I appreciate how, PayPal got right on it and took care of it for me, as far as not took care of it, but we got it straightened out. Most of the time when you're trying to deal with people, you can't talk to them on the phone. PayPal, you can call them, and they were like, yep, we're on it, and helped me get going and everything. And I wouldn't even have known it that day, other than the fact is I had the box all ready to go for our winner. Ruth Larrabee won our August giveaway, and I was going to run to the post office on Wednesday, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and get her package ready and do some of my shopping, because I needed to stop by and get some of Rosie's special food and stuff out. And so I went to print the label, and it would not let me in. And then I checked my email, and it was showing. But I'm always leery about email because spammers look like, what they're like. They want you to be tricked. And I've always learned, never click on a link. Never ever do it in your email. Go to the site, and if you can't find your answers, call. And it probably took a couple hours before I could get it all with everything figured out and done. But I was really proud of myself because I didn't have to get my husband involved this time. I actually figured it out. Maybe I'm getting smarter. Anyhow, that totally stressed me out. And my husband and I have been planning this vacation, and so I'm really happy to get away. Okay, so our vacation's going to start tomorrow, Thursday, and we're going to be gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So there will not be an official live Coffee and Crochet with Sara next Tuesday. If I get a chance, depending on what we have planned, because we're going to be up in the mountains and stuff, we're going to Colorado, back up to Denver and the Parker area to visit with some friends and my husband's boss and our old boss and their family, and just visit with some friends and then take some trips up into the mountains. And we're taking Rosie with us, of course. And so depending on where we're at on Tuesday, I may do a pop-in video, I may not. If I don't get that chance to do that, I'm going to try to schedule one for Thursday, okay, of next week. All right, so don't panic if you don't see the notices and all that for our video on Tuesday, okay? And I'll try to put a reminder out there or something like that, okay? All right, so another thing that happened this week is I always take a backpack. I've had it for years. It's like an old Coach backpack. I think I had it for about 12, 15 years. And I always use this backpack to pack Max and Rosie's food and leashes and toys and cookies. And I always take a water bottle. And I have this bowl that flattens out so I can, when we stop, I can pop it up and fill it with water for them or food. Well, I pulled out that backpack, and I always took Max and Mosey's leashes, and I looped the handles together, and I just held them together. Well, when I pulled those leashes out, I just started crying because I have not taken a trip since we moved here with Max and Rosie without Max. And I told my husband, I said, I just started crying. I said, it's so weird how something can just hit you. And how much, because I think about him all the time. I'm always, thinking, oh, that Max would have liked to play with that, or Max would have loved to lay over here, or Max would have growled at me about this, So it's so funny the way some of those memories sneak up on you, isn't it? Okay, so I am ready for a nice vacation, just stress-free, but I will tell you, I already have a video. Actually, it's loaded and scheduled for tomorrow morning for our this and that video. And then Friday is when I was going to do our September coffee cup, for our thingy here. I was going to do the coffee cup for that. And so what I'm going to do is I've already got a lot of it done. I just need to go through and edit it and get the pictures and the rest of the stuff done for it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it on it'll probably be like Friday evening and go ahead and put it out there on, I'm sorry, Thursday evening, because we're leaving super early. Okay, and I'll probably go ahead and have it scheduled to come out on Thursday evening. That way I can go ahead and get the posts ready in Ravelry and also on the blog. And so you'll have it for Friday, basically what I'm saying. Okay, and so that one will go out on Friday. And then I have something different planned for Monday. I'm not going to do a tutorial, but I'm going to do something different. And I've already been working on that as well. So you'll still have a video tomorrow. There'll be a video on Friday and a video on Monday, okay? And they'll all be scheduled and stuff like that. The only thing that'll be different again is I probably will not have a live video on Tuesday, and we'll probably have it on Thursday. And I'm saying probably because, like I said, I might be able to do some sort of a pop-in on Tuesday. It may not be at 10:30, or whatever, or it just may not be at all. But I'll try to get a notice out there to let you know what's going on. I'll post it either, usually what I do is I'll post on Facebook and also have it post on Instagram. It's the same way I do my little videos. Before we do our live video, I usually post a little video reminder. Okay, and then I'll post it on X, and then I'll also try to post it on YouTube on the posting. Okay, so that's a lot to remember. Don't worry. I hope I remember it all. But like I said, I just I'm a little bit not burnout because I love what I do. I've been making some silly mistakes, like last Friday. For some reason, YouTube didn't post the whole video on our washcloth, and so I had to redo it, and I had to delete that video and bring in a new video and redo that. And I don't like to have to do that, and I don't know that I did anything wrong. I couldn't find anything that I did wrong. It could just be the program that I used just didn't save the whole thing. Okay, and that could have been me. I didn't hit the save button, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I'm ready for a little bit of refreshing. Okay, I'm not really burnt out because like I said, I really do love what I do. But it'd be good to get away with just my husband and Rosie and see some friends, and hopefully my little friend that's up in Parker that just had her cute little baby boy. I want to stop by and see him and her. I mean, her too. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that stuff. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, I wanted to tell you, this is so funny. I do have a couple of jokes, but I wanted to tell you something that was just so funny. Yesterday morning, and it's been raining today as well, but yesterday morning, it was just a beautiful rain. It's 64 degrees. I think it's 64 today also. Yep, 64 degrees, just gorgeous. And it was such a release because it's been so hot, like in the 90s, almost to 100. And the humidity here is quite intense for me. And it kills my joints. So anyway, yesterday morning, it's easier for Rosie when it's raining to go out front because we have the overhang of the porch with the direction of where the rain was coming. In the back, the rain seems to come right up onto our patio. And so sometimes I'll take her out front. And I took her out front. It was so beautiful. And so I was standing in the middle of the grass and I just was twirling. I was like, yes, the rain is so gorgeous. I just love it. And I look up and my neighbor across the street, he's like this big macho, ex-Marine. And he looks at me and he waves and he twirls like I was. And we started laughing. It was so funny. I have the best neighbors. I have to tell you. When we moved into this house, we weren't used to having neighbors very close because in Colorado, we lived on, everybody was on a 5 to 7 acre lot. And here they're all like half acre lots. And so I'm not used to having neighbors so close. So it's kind of fun. It's fun getting to know your neighbors. The little girl next door has got this infectious laugh, and I can always tell when she's out there. And she has a little brother, and they're out there playing, and I can hear them both just giggling, and it just cracks me up. you know. And then we had a house that sat empty for a long time. The people bought it, and then his company moved him, and so the house was vacant. And now there's a new family living in there, and they got a bunch of kids. And I just love it because, you know, they always say kids are inside all the time on their computers, and they probably are, but not in this neighborhood. Oh, I'm telling you, kids across the street, kids down there on the corner, and then on the other corner next door, they're outside all the time. And I love hearing them laugh and play. And we're on like a cul-de-sac, I guess you'd call that. And they're always out there with all their little bikes and trikes and scooters and just having a blast. Makes me wish I could still do that stuff. I'm like, oh, I wish I had that energy. Anyway, I love to hear kids laugh. Alrighty, so would you like to hear some jokes? This is true, Leslie. You're right. My husband was in the Air Force. And he will always be an airman, you know, a master sergeant, you know, he'll always be those things that you never X anything when it comes to the military. This is true. Okay. She's correcting me that he's not ex-Marine. He is just a former Marine. He's still a Marine. He carries himself like one. I love that he's really a tough guy, but he's just so gentle and loving with his kids. It's just, anyway, we don't need to talk about all that, but anyway, you're right. Okay, I've got 2 silly jokes. And then we'll start talking about my premier yarn I ordered in. All right, how do you repair a broken pumpkin? I found this joke on a kid's, like, funny fall jokes for kids. And I was like, this is a total dad joke. You repair a broken pumpkin with a pumpkin patch. Come on. I think it's hilarious. I know I'm terrible at loading at doing a punchline. I know that. Okay, now this other one, it might be funny. Yeah, patch it up with a pumpkin patch. It might be funny, but I don't know if it's funny or not. Okay. Why did the pumpkin jump over the fence? Because, you know, gardens are usually fenced up to keep the bunnies out. Why did the pumpkin jump over the fence? Because he loves fall. He wanted to fall over the fence. Okay, it's not that funny, I know. You know, I didn't used to be a pumpkin spice girl, and I don't mean to be rude about Starbucks, but I don't like their coffee and I don't like their pumpkin spice. I love this Aldi pumpkin spice. All right, are you guys ready to see what's in my premier bag? It is a huge bag. I was surprised it came in a bag instead of a box, but I like the bags. All right, let me show you. And a lot of these, not a lot of them, some of these are new yarn. So I want to show you. Let me put it down here and then I'll just bring it up because it's heavy. And I'll just bring it up to our other camera. I'm going to bring these out first. Let's get over here to our other camera. All right, this is the new Karma yarn that they released 2 weeks ago. And it wasn't what I was expecting, to be honest with you. Okay, I was expecting more of a, well, this is almost like a roving, I guess what I'm saying. Let me bring this up closer so you can see how fuzzy that is. It's beautiful. It's soft. This is called Allure Blue. And this is called Rainforest. Aren't those pretty? I thought they would work good together. I actually thought I also ordered a pink, but when I checked my invoice, I hadn't. But I think these two look really nice together. You can make a beautiful hat and scarf with this. It would be gorgeous. Okay, but this is the new Premier Karma Ombre. All right, and it's 51% acrylic, 34% cotton, and 15% nylon. You're getting 174 yards or 3.5 ounces. And it is a bulky number 5. All right, so that's the new Karma. Now, these are L. And aren't these beautiful bright colors? They already had the L, but this is the L. It's called L by Me, not me, but that's the name of it. I don't know who me is. And I've got quite a few of these. I thought I had one more. I did. Oh, two more. Lots of green. Okay, so I was thinking elf when I bought these colors. I thought these would be nice elf colors. I've got like this bright red. Now these are bulky number 5s, 60% acrylic, 40% wool, L by me. And this particular style is called Charlotte. And this color is called Cherry. This color is called Sunny. This color is called Holly. This color is called Margarita. This color is called Lime. Well, that makes sense. And this color is called Azalea. So I was thinking elf colors, like Santa's elf and Christmas. And I have something in mind for these. But I just really loved them. Aren't they beautiful colors? And these are new colors. Now, they already had L by me, bulky 5, 60% acrylic, 40% wool. They already had those, but they came out with a bunch of new colors. And then I have another one that I ordered in, and this is also L by me. This is called, I pronounced this right last time, so I'm not going to do it this time because I'll probably pronounce it wrong probably. Let's see. Aureli. I don't know. I have to go in and see how to pronounce it. It is a bulky 5, and you can see that it's got that gold sparkle through it. This is like a dusty blue and a nice red, and I was thinking that it might look nice on a scarf. But super pretty. It's called Majesty. It does have sort of a majestic, elegant look. That color, that is gold running through there, and it has these little bumps on there. Let me pull that out so you can see that. Isn't that gorgeous? Bulky number 5, 55% polyester, 36% acrylic, and 9% metallized polyester, which is that gold. Let's see, what is the color? Oh, I already told you, Majesty. And I just ordered one of those because I also have the new colors of the, what is that called? Gala. I've got some behind me in gold and silver. All right. Now, I'm going to have to make some room, so let me move that up there. I know, I ordered a lot. I went across my budget. Okay, so I bought this and this. I think I bought 3 of them, yes. And I got this color. This is called Twig. This is called Twig. This is called Golden. And this one is called Dark Denim. And I thought these 3 colors worked well together. This is the raffia. And I wanted you to see, it almost feels like plastic. And it's really sturdy. It's a bulky 5, and I think it's because of how wide the little like edge is, because it isn't thick, it's flat. 100% cellulose rayon. I was not thinking that was rayon, but it is. So that means it's pretty sturdy, and each one has 131 yards and 3.5 ounces. And I chose these 3 colors because I thought it would make a nice hat and bag for a trip. And like a big brim hat and a bag with these 3 colors. I think it would be really pretty. And so I try to order ones in with yarns in with ideas in mind, but I can't always do that. Okay. Now I don't have the prices for all of these. You can go on my site or use my link and go and check those out. Now this is a new one. This is called Serenity Tweed. And I'll probably bring some of these back in and show them to you individually so we can get a better look at them without them all being everywhere. But this is called Serenity Tweed. 95% acrylic, 3% Viscose. I don't know how you say that. This is called Tahiti. This is called mulberry. That makes sense. And this one is called eggplant. And I specifically ordered these 3 colors in because I thought, again, it would make a nice set for a hat and scarf. Or maybe, oh, this would make a nice poncho for the fall. But anyway, that's a lot of yarn. And so, I mean, it's just a lot of yarn to take in. I mean, that was a huge bag, and I spent my whole September budget. And so, yeah, it just really is a lot of yarn. I'm going to put all these back in here real quick. But Premier Yarn has been coming out with new colors of some of their older yarns and lots of new yarns. And I'm just real excited about all the new stuff. And I have so many plans for all of these new yarns. And you know, like I've said in the past, Premier Yarn so far has never disappointed me. I just locked one of those raffias across the room there. They've never disappointed me in their yarn. I've always loved everything that I've ordered. And if you want to see all those and see all the colors also, they all have a lot of colors, and especially those gorgeous colors. Just use my link. My Premier link is always under every single one of my videos now. Just go underneath my video in that description box. Click that says my Premier link. It'll take you straight there. And they have tabs. It'll say new, sale. Always check their sales. They've always got something great on sale. Okay. But I lost my train of thought. When you go to the Premier website, sign up for their emails, but don't use their links. Come back and use my links. So I get the credit if you order. But also, when you go online and hit those tabs, their sales almost always run from Wednesday noon to the next Wednesday noon. Okay, I didn't figure that out right away when I was first ordering from them, but they always have great stuff on sale. And they also have a clearance section. And then when they're putting out new stuff, almost always Fridays at noon. And I don't know if their noon is the same as mine, so make sure you go at like 1. I don't know the time difference. I can't remember. But anyway, if you want to know what's coming out that's new, Fridays afternoon. If you want to know what's on sale, Wednesday afternoon. Okay, because their sales run Wednesday to Wednesday, and it's really neat. You know, I'm just so excited about all the new yarns they've got coming out, and I've got so much planned, you know. So I'm not going to tell you what's going on in September yet. But I've got lots of fun stuff planned. Now, if you watched our This and That video last week, it goes along with our This and That video from the previous week. The previous week, we talked about hats and sizing and how to adjust crochet hooks and things like that. What we did this last week, we talked about scarves, how to know what size to make it, how long to make it, how wide to make it, and how to do some adjusting with that. Okay, and we talked about that yesterday. Tomorrow's video, as I already told you, is already ready to go, and the name of it is called I Have a Problem. And maybe some of you can help me with my problem, but I'm not going to tell you what it is today. You have to watch tomorrow's video. And I've scheduled it for 7:30. Wednesday's video is almost always scheduled for my time, 7:30 a.m. Central Time. Okay, almost always. Now sometimes it won't be, you know, but almost always. Oh, that's good, Mary. Thank you. I really appreciate when you order from Premier to use my link, because I mean I only get like 10% of it, but that's enough to what I do is from my sales, I put it over in my little budget thing, and I use that money to buy more yarn, basically, so that I can show you and make more videos for you. Okay, so please, yes, do that. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we did this last week. All right, so let's talk about the washcloths that we did. I'm going to lay them out here so that you can see them. This is our fall colors washcloths. They're not traditional fall colors other than some beige and some sort of rusty red. But I got these from Hobby Lobby. These are I Love This Yarn. And oh, you can see my notes. Oopsie. And I just loved these. Okay, I was going into Hobby Lobby. I wanted some new fall colors. And I had already picked up this. I think it's called bruschetta. Why, I don't know, because it's kind of rusty to me. And this is beige. I think I called it khaki. And I was looking for a gold. And these are sort of a soft, muted color. And I didn't want the bright colors, although I do love those. For this washcloth, I wanted more muted. And I was looking at the yellows and the golds. I didn't like them. I didn't like how they looked with these two colors. And then I saw this beautiful purple color. And I thought, that will look really cool. And so I incorporated it in there. I can't remember the name of it. It's not violet. It's not orchid. I think it's lavender. Anyway, it may not be. You'll see it if you go into Hobby Lobby because these are Hobby Lobby colors. Anyway, and so I just had this idea. I wanted to make a simple washcloth, but it had some neatness to it. And I love this. I think this is super neat, super cool. Just by changing colors, we get a little bit of a different look here. And it's really easy. And then, of course, the trim is super easy. And by how we did that, it kind of gives it that sort of same look. Like checkered, but not really. And this is the pattern I was talking about. I loaded the pattern. I scheduled it for Friday. Everything was going fine. I always check, my video program application to see if it was working fine. Everything worked fine. And I also checked online on YouTube, everything. So I always check it first and then I get it all ready. Well, I didn't even know that the end of it had not posted. And Sue, I think her name's Sue Bigger, I can't remember. She's from here in Oklahoma. And she's like, Sarah, I would have loved to see the end of this. And I'm like, well, watch the end of it. And I better check this. And it had cut off like the last 9 minutes of it. The trim and then like the big finish, And so I had to go back in. And by then it already had a bunch of likes because people hadn't got a chance to watch the whole thing yet. And then I started getting emails and messages. The rest of it's not there. I'm like, I know. And so I had to go back through and I checked my video editing software, and I checked on YouTube. Everything looked fine. So I reloaded it and everything was fine. I don't know what happened, but I'm telling you, as I'm saying, I had like one of the most stressful weeks I've had in a really long time. But I got it back on. But this video really needs some love because all those 450 people that liked it, I lost all those likes because I had to delete it and reload it. So show this video some love. Go look at it. You can find the link underneath this video. As always, my YouTube videos underneath, I always put that video link underneath our live videos so that you can go and find them. That way when I'm talking about them, you don't have to go search. They're right underneath this video in the description box. All right, and so that's our fall colors washcloth for 2025. All right, now the next thing that we did was the table runner. I'm going to put it over here. I just dropped a plastic pumpkin. Okay, now I absolutely love this table runner. It turned out absolutely gorgeous. And I specifically ordered this yarn in for this particular pattern. And this yarn is the basic Premier Basics Multi. The color is called Harvest. Medium weight, number 4 acrylic yarn. But I didn't want to do the video or picture tutorials with this yarn because variegated yarn is hard to see when you're filming for others to see it. Okay? And so what I did, and I'm going to show you what I did the demo. Here's our demo with just a gold yarn. And I really love it in this gold. And I think this would be beautiful for Christmas in this gold. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, because I'm going to take a project with me when we go. So I thought maybe I would just take this with me because it's a great take-along project. And I can take this with me on vacation and work on this one. And then I can show you what it looks like when it's done in the solid gold. Because just because I did this in harvest or fall colors or autumn colors, this particular stitch is beautiful for any time of year with any color. I always say this, it'll look gorgeous in ombre because I love ombre yarns, but it really would. Or maybe a sparkly ivory. I mean, and I just think it's a great pattern. It's super easy. Once you get going on it, it's just a 2-row repeat for the whole pattern. And then when you get it as long as you want to end on a row where you have your chain 4s, because then we just add a row of double crochet. And then we do the trim, or I should say the fringe. If you want to, you can. I just did a quick fringe like this because I love this. It's simple and basic, but you could do more yarns. You could do fringe all the way across, or you can leave it off if you don't like it. I like to do patterns that are versatile because we all have different styles. We all have our favorite colors, and you know, my kitchen is all done in, I mean, you know, Pioneer Woman stuff. I am in Oklahoma, right? But it is all done in Pioneer Woman things, and a lot of it I have found at Goodwill, just FYI. But they're bright colors, and so I think this gold would be beautiful in bright colors for Christmas. But my table runner that I leave on my large dining room table all year long is like bright colors of teals and just oranges and kind of like the colors of my shirt. Pinks and orange and just bright colors because I love bright colors, lots of yellow. Okay, and so you can make this particular pattern in any colors that you want to. Okay, and it's really, really easy. Like I said, once you get the 2-row repeat down, it's a piece of cake. Make it as long as you need or as short as you need, and then put your end on. Super easy. And I love an elegant pattern that's easy because if you look at it, it looks a little bit, you know, intricate or hard, but it's not. It's just open shell stitches, double crochets, single crochets, nothing fancy. Alrighty, so now just a reminder, like I said, I do have tomorrow's video already scheduled. It'll be released at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. And then we're also going to have the Friday Fun Day video. I'm going to release it on Thursday evening before we leave for our vacation. I'll have it already loaded on Ravelry so you can download, because remember, all of those cups and all of that goes with our home crochet along, those are all free Ravelry downloads. And I'll have that all ready to go, as well as if you want to see the pictures, the photo tutorial on the blog. I'll have that all ready to go on Thursday evening. That way, when you click in on Friday morning, if you're used to clicking in on Friday morning for Friday Fun Day, it'll be there for you. All right. And then also, I'm doing a different sort of video on Monday. I know it's Labor Day, but I'm doing a sort of different video on Monday. So you'll like it. I'm enjoying putting it together. Okay, and then like I said, we will probably not have a live video on Tuesday. And I'm hoping, like I said, if we're someplace up in the mountains, a lot of times there isn't good internet and it doesn't stay connected and things like that. And so, because we're going back to Denver, Colorado, and the mountains around there to see some friends and visit and just have just a quick little vacation. We'll be gone through. We'll be traveling back actually on Tuesday. So I'm pretty sure we will not have a live video. So what I'll do is I'll try my best to have a live video on Thursday. I might be dead tired, but that's okay. That's when I'm my silliest. I was just reading her comment about somebody saying they don't like to do double crochet and single crochet. they're probably talking about just in straight rows, because to be honest with you, almost every crochet pattern stitch, or, you know, has double crochets and single crochets incorporated into it. So maybe she was just referring to just rows of them. Sometimes there's times I don't like to do solid, I mean, especially if it's a blanket, solid single crochet row after row after row. So anyway, maybe that's what she was referring to, because they're just single crochets and double crochets are just our basics. All right, so I'm going to let you go. Rosie and I got to pack for our trip. And I got to do laundry too. I got to have clean things, right? My favorite shirts and stuff. Alrighty, so I really enjoyed being with you all today. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and you'll get some time to spend with your family and your friends and your puppy dogs and kitties too. I'll have to find out when cat day is, because I don't know. All right, well, I'll see you next time, everybody. All right, Rosie, are you ready to pack up? You silly girl, you fell back to sleep.